Good morning, people. Today I am going to touch on a very sore subject. This happened in Western Massachusetts, and it happened years ago. It started years ago. But our churches in our small towns covered it up. They protected this man. Now, his name was Richard Lavigne. He was a priest. He served in Greenfield, Shelburne Falls, Chicopee, all around our area. And for 50 years, he walked around freer than a kite. Now, the saddest thing is that for 50 years, our district attorney did nothing. Nothing. They did nothing to do anything to stop this man. Now, they just covered things up. Absolutely no discussing that. He had been close to this family to get a child named Daniel Crutel. He was 13, found dead in the Connecticut River in Chicopee, Massachusetts on April 15th, 1972, wearing the same clothes he wore at the Catholic school the day earlier. Him and his 4 brothers served as altar boys for Lavigne at St. Catherine of Siena in Springfield. The priest also took Cruteau and his brothers on outings without their parents multiple times, and that he had invited Daniel and his brothers to stay at his parents' home in Chicopee just as few times as well. Finally, in 2004, the Catholic Church got around to defrocking the guy, but, it had been 32 years, and there's also a questionable thing that had happened in the Shelburne Falls area with the man. He was trouble. Now, I am not here to judge anybody, but this man was trouble. They knew he was trouble. They knew that he was doing things he shouldn't do. He should have been, just defrocked. You can forgive him, through the church, through the priesthood, but you don't send him back to other children. Now he's into his late age, and they decide to open up another investigation. Now, this guy is living in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Yes, he was living in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Free as a bird. We don't know who he came in contact with. We don't know anything. All we know is that he was free to do whatever he wants. Now, finally, in March of 2020, now this is 48 years after Danny's been found dead. This is 16 years after they finally defrocked him. The district attorney's office, working with the state police on unresolved cases, combed through thousands of documents, decades of evidence, and zeroed on a letter that Lavigne told investigators that he had received in 2004 from the teen's murderer, admitting guilt. Now, this means that in 2004, now, is this a strange coincidence? I don't think so. He was defrocked, and yet the district attorney in 2004 just put the letter in unassigned. In other words, we just put it over to the corner, and we kind of forget about it. An expert in forensic linguistics examined the letter on March 5th, 2021. Now, this is 17 years later. and compared it with other letters written by Lavigne, according to the district attorney's office. The examination report on May 21st said that the language patterns in the question document are consistent with language patterns in the known Lavigne documents, to the point that Richard R. Lavigne cannot be excluded as a possible candidate of authorship. Now, I want you to understand, this is May 21st, 2021. Guess what happened on May 21st, 2021? Richard Lavigne died at the Bay State Medical Center in Greenfield, Mass. Now, some reports say that it was from a long illness and everything, but others say he died of COVID. This was not years and years ago. This was 2 years ago, and we still don't have answers. They questioned Lavigne about 11 hours over several days in April and May of 2021. The Defrocked Priest refused to admit he killed Daniel and attempted to mislead the district investigation. However, he also made other statements that suggested he brought the Cruto to the riverbank on April 14th, that physically assaulted him, and returned a little later to discover the teen lying face down in the river. He did not notify police or his parents. And so, on and on. This guy just literally got away with murder. Now, my next part is even more scary, because when he was actually interviewed and talked to, he said he's going to heaven. Now, here's a man that did unthinkable things, unthinkable, in our own area, lived in our hometown. He was a known murderer. More than likely, every priest in town was well aware that at the very least, he was real trouble. Everybody that worked at the churches, you're talking Blessed Sacrament, you're talking Holy Trinity, they all covered for him. This is only 3 years ago. And so anybody attending any Catholic church in the county of Franklin County is certainly dealing with priests that were well aware that this man was real trouble. Now, the next you're going to hear is how he's felt in his own words.
We're actually speaking about Danny for a few days now. He was a strange, interesting kid. You know, not too bright. Always trying to make jokes about things. And if you didn't answer, he'd increase his voice. And then you turn around and go and say, "Bruce, shut up."
Why did you go down there with him?
To the river?
Yes.
He wanted to see the waterfall. Of course.
Then what happened?
So I took him on the other side of Sugar, and we walked up and down. And that's all I can remember about that.
Why did you hit him when he was down by the riverbank? Why were you doing down there?
down by the riverbank. But give him a good shove.
You did give him a good shove? And why did you give him a good shove?
Because he was being how should I say? Well, for the same reason you probably with your own son. He said, hey Billy, you don't do that.
Explain to me how you came across the body.
Well, just saw it floating.
You saw it floating. And how did you know it was Danny?
It was just,
And what did you do after you saw the body in the water?
I don't remember what it is. I don't remember telling anyone.
Did you tell the police?
I don't believe I did.
I don't believe you did either. Did you confide in any friends?
No, it's not something I confide in. I just remember being heartbroken when I saw his body going on the river, knowing I was responsible for giving him a good shove, you know.
And you remember seeing him face down in the river?
Yeah,
And that was after you left him there.
yeah,
That was the same day that you left him there.
right.
Okay.
It's my greatest regret.
Do you say that's your greatest regret?
It's my great regret.
Your great regret. How did you feel when you returned home?
Kind of heavy-hearted.
Why?
Well, he was a nice little kid. Kind of dumb, but still charming in a way. If I shared this with the public, they probably wouldn't believe it. When I say you wouldn't believe it, they would probably build conjecture around the revelation that I made.
Yes.
I sort of forget the whole thing, frankly. And seeing fish down in the water was just, not something you have to keep in mind.
Do you feel you put that out of your mind?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because as far as I know, you've never told this to anyone else before.
No, I haven't.
Why?
Why tell it?
Now, after you hear that he gave the boy a considerable shove, I want you to know what we were going through in our area. In Springfield, which is very close to Chicopee for people that don't know, the bishop, Thomas Dupre, reportedly came into criticism for his response to Lavigne. He himself resigned and left the state to check into a medical facility after being confronted by allegations that he, too, had abused 2 children in the 1970s. He became the first Catholic bishop in the United States to be indicted on criminal charges for sexual abuse, but did not ultimately stand trial because he died in 2016. So they hang on for 12 years, let the guy do whatever he wants, live free, clear. And meanwhile, these two guys say that they belong in heaven. Now the Archbishop of St. Louis is accused of, in a lawsuit, of covering up abuse allegations in Springfield. The plaintiff claims he suffered trauma as a result of the diocese mishandling of an abuse allegation he brought against the late Christopher Weldon, Bishop of Springfield, from 1950 to 1977. So we've got a Bishop Christopher Weldon. We have the former Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, Bishop Dupre, and Archbishop Rosansky. He admitted that the diocese mishandled the abuse case, which the plaintiff says he brought to the first attention in 2004. Now, what kind of people would allow this to happen? Do you think they really belong in heaven?